Thank you for listening. A list of content warnings can be found in the episode description. Take care. Enjoy the show. Planescape Torment, the Unofficial audio series. A narrative let's play adapted and produced by RevocerGM. Combining in-game audio with additional voice acting through dialogue and descriptions to improve your listening experience. Rediscover the amazing story of the 1999 cult classic isometric video game, Planescape Torment, like you've never heard before. The ground down here is soft. Mercifully, you think at first. That is until your senses reawaken and the vile, reeking air fills your lungs. The spongy nature of what you are lying upon sinks in as you press your hand through the broken ribcage of a long, decaying body.
I hear you. Are you all right?
Yeah, I guess. You?
We're fine.
Great. Anything in that box?
No.
Great.
Can you see a way up?
I can't see much of anything.
One moment.
A flare of light appears in the shaft above as Dakon dangles a lit torch halfway down the chasm, illuminating the space about you. Oh, hells. You almost wish he hadn't. You now find yourself in a revolting cesspit of half-rotten corpses. Welling up in the center is a sickening pool of congealed blood and severed limbs. Rusted machinery that would presumably power the devices above tick and falter, jammed with gore. Gathered at the edges are several mutilated bodies. One looks to be more fresh, but you are loath to use that word in describing its current condition. It has been horribly mangled. It looks like it was burned, stabbed, sliced, bludgeoned, and forced through a grate. Most of it is in two halves, lying in a crusted pool of old blood. A faint aqua-blue light swirls about it, and you can just make out a grimaced face with a set of glinting metal teeth smirking from the ooze. Nice grill.
Oh, thank you kindly.
Whoa. What?
Oh, I didn't mean to fright you. I hadn't thought I'd see anyone's down here.
Me either. Are you dead?
Aye, back. You?
I don't think so.
Oh, you look it.
Who are you?
Loudon, eh? Me, Bert, and sometimes Rhyss, though he were nothing but a bossy piker. And he was with us the last time. We're kings of the Catacombs, the Prowlers. I don't know where Bert is now, though. Probably dead. Too young, poor son. We lost that balmy Arkin first, though, thank the powers. And Chad, he went off on his own, as he does.
What happened to you?
I made a wrong turn when we was running away from where we dumped Chris. Bolted in here, and before I realised my mistake, I got my pieces shoved down the grate, and now not even the Dusties will pay for this lot.
What happened to Chris?
A story of its own. Mostly my idea it was, and it came off all right at first. But I didn't have no clue what I was doing. Did some looking around, found out where a ghoul had made its home, and thought we'd take old Gris down there. Turns out that ghoul had made more ghouls, and they nearly had us. Shot Gris inside, and took off like the lady herself was after us. Betting Gris is dead now.
Probably. I have a question for you.
Or mayhap I'll tell. Mayhap I won't. Ask your question.
I'm looking for a lost tomb. Beyond the Drowned Nations. You heard of it?
Huh? Beyond? Could be anywhere. We calls this place the Weeping Stone on account of the water off in the ceiling and the crying faces on the walls. Plenty of crypts down here, and plenty more we've not plundered. All that water's got to go somewhere. I used to know this place like the back of my hand, but it's all going dark on me now.
Then go dark. Farewell. The shimmer of light fades, and Loudon's spirit falls silent. Above, in the red glow of the hanging torch, you just make out the rungs of a ladder welded into the wall beneath the shaft. But as you step towards it, something catches on your boot, causing you to slip in the filth. Damn it. A dismembered arm, as hard as a wooden club, almost seems to clutch its fingers about your ankle. Stupid thing. It's odd, though. Even though it appears many decades old, it is more petrified than rotted. It looks like it was severed cleanly at the shoulder, most likely by a scythe blade, and it is covered with scars and intricate tattoos, spiraling up from the wrist all the way to the remains of the shoulder. They are strangely familiar to you. As you trace your fingers across one of the lines, a faded feeling flickers in your memory. Loneliness, fear, shame. You can't explain why, but you feel compelled to bring the arm with you. Perhaps the artist Fell might be able to discern the tattoo's meanings. You wrap it in a bolt of rags and climb to the passage above.
That wasn't too bad, was it?
I'm not going to answer that. Let's move on. Anna leads you now on a more focused path, heading downwards, deeper into the tombs to the familiar damp of the drowned nations where the city's sewers gather. All three of you are on high alert, well aware of the treachery to be found in these dark waters.
I hate it down here. No bob's ever worth swimming for.
Yeah, not too fond of it myself. Before you is a narrow tunnel, lined with more of the odd stone-carven faces. Like the ones you'd seen before, they are unnervingly lifelike. Filthy tracks pour from their mouths and eye sockets, and their expression is held in a look of wrought anguish, struck with muck-ridden tears. As you pass beneath one of these twisted stone faces, it slowly begins to shift and groan.
Oh, this again?
Immortal, regard me. I am Glyve. I would have words with you.
What did you want to say?
Listen, this place holds much danger to you. Treachery awaits you on the surface, and your way is long and winding. At the end, you will find what you have sought, but you may not want it then.
Are you some sort of oracle?
Oracle? No. I observe. That is all.
How did you come to be like this?
I was once a respected leader of my community. A petty lord sought to increase his power at the expense of my people, my friends, my relatives, and I spoke against him.
And then what?
And then he captured us, one by one, and bound our spirits and senses into these screaming faces under the ditch, where all the filth and sigil comes eventually. And then he let the polluted waters above flow through our mouths and noses and eyes.
Is there anything I can do to help?
We are cursed to remain here until fresh water passes our lips. There is a flask enchanted with the purest of water in the drowned nations. Bring it to me and give me a taste of it, and I shall tell you of someone who can unlock its full potential, and you shall never lack for water again.
Where is this flask?
I do not know. Deeper within the drowned nations.
I'll see what I can do.
Thank you.
The expression on Anna's face as you continue on is one of bemusement, amazement, possibly disdain even.
I've known you for not even a full peak-to-peak day, and this has happened twice. What are you?
You don't even know the half of it.
He always been like this, Pops?
As long as I have known him. Right.
Seriously, though?
Anna, I don't know.
What do you mean?
I don't know what I am. Who I am, even. You found me lying dead in an alley. But I woke up alive in the mortuary with no memory of any past life. I've spent this past 10 days trying to figure that out. I was hoping Farrod would know something more. It seems this has gone on for some time. Anna goes quiet for a moment as you walk. Anna?
Aye?
You still want to stick around?
Oh. Aye? At least till we make it out these tombs.
For the next few hours, you follow the gentle current of the drowned nations, cautiously navigating around the pools and along a wide canal that terminates at a basin. The water flows quickly here, spilling through a large drainage grate in the center. And you notice the hinges of the grate have been forced open, wide enough for you to climb down. An icy draft rises from this drain, and as you wade into the bowl, you hear the faintest whisper, barely audible above the rushing water. You cannot make out what it says, and after a second, it is gone. But you have the sense that you have been here before, and a strong feeling about the place. I'm going in alone. Wait out here for me. Are you certain? Yes. You still have that rope? Filthy, frigid water cascades over your chest and shoulders as you climb down. And after several feet, you are dangling over some kind of cistern chamber. A thin rim of paving runs around the circumference that rounds to an archway built into the side. The light from Dakon's torch above flickers over the pool, bouncing about the walls, and you see the words, "Engineered for Eternity," carved into the stonework. Here's to it then. Emerging, you clamber onto the slick path before the entranceway, the falls clattering behind you, and look upon the gate to this tomb. The arch itself is outlined with the thick metal tubing that seems to weave throughout sigil like arteries, and in the torchlight, the bronze-paneled doors shimmer and glint. A faded smear of blood mars the center. You push open the gates, and a cool light washes over you, almost blinding compared to the gloom behind. As your eyes adjust, you see a network of chambers within. Wow. The beauty of this tomb is incredible. The ground, a series of colorful tiles, jasper, jade, quartz, amethyst, all perfectly carved and laid with the finest precision. The walls, plated with polished copper scales and bright gold, resemble the skin of some vast serpent. Great trunk-like pillars reach above, their branches corniced to envelop the ceiling, that is itself encrusted entirely with pearlescent crystal, the radiating source of the cool white glow. Despite all the opulence of this tomb, however, there is little to inform you on its inhabitant. There is a shrine recessed into an alcove that holds a large urn, flanked by several statues on either side. And while each figure appears to depict the same singular man, their features have been smashed apart, masking any semblance of a face. Above the urn is a plaque that reads, "At last, I have you. Never again will you torment me. For no mortal man can escape these walls. Seek the keys and embrace death with each that you find. Only then shall you be free." Embrace death. We'll see. What you do see, trailed by droplets of half-dried blood, is the ruined heap of a recently dead corpse towards the center of this chamber. The body is twisted and bent, as if whoever this was died in incredible pain. It is wrapped in the remains of what were once collector's robes, now burnt and torn to shreds, and you see the face of a man frozen in what looks to be surprise. What exactly killed him is hard to tell. It could be anything from the numerous slashes across his chest, the gaping and now festering wound at his right shoulder, or the scorch marks that seem to overlay it all. What happened to you? At this point, it no longer comes as much of a surprise when a wisp of blue shimmers between you and this corpse, and his blackened teeth begin to chatter.
I must run. Why do I feel so numb? Am I drunk? I can't feel my hands. Or my legs.
Who are you?
Well, who in the nine hells are you? Show yourself. Oh, by the hairy ass of Pan himself, I'm dead, aren't I?
Afraid so.
I always knew it'd come down to this. Tell me, Cutter, am I still in the tombs?
Yes.
Oh, figures. Aye, it does. Do them a good turn and they'll do nothing for you. I heard them start running, me bloods. What happened to them, eh? Where be Bert, Loudon? They make it, or are they in the dead book?
They're dead.
Aye, good. Yet to think they got away clean with me left down here.
What happened to you, anyway?
Oh, that's a story, Burke. Long and short of it, me and me boys had just popped some crypt in the upper tombs. It was harder than picking a chastity belt, I'm telling you. After tearing and prying at the door for a little past eternity, got in when me blood starts shouting, and this thing, I'm fighting it, and they bolt. Pissheads.
So how'd you get here?
Well, that's the long part. Let's just say no ghoul comes between Rhyss and his loot.
Rhyss? Huh. Well, I've heard a lot about you.
Oh, aye. All nonsense, the lot of it. Whoever told you, give him my worst regards. Who was it? Quint?
Perhaps.
That stuffing filled pox-ridden horse, and probably still whining about his missing charm. Well, if that's what you're down here for, you're in the wrong place, Burke. That thing will be scattered across some tomb.
You mentioned loot.
Oh, Burke. If I wasn't dead, you can bet you'd never be dragging that chant from me. But
he pauses philosophically.
But since I am a deader now, me pack underneath me.
You roll his body over and uncover a satchel, soaked with the filth of the drowned nations.
A few pretty charms, but best of all, the jug that snarky git Chad had been searching so dear for.
Jug?
Aye. It doesn't look like much, but 'tis enchanted, it is. Said to contain a door to the plane of water. Just need the command.
I see. You take up the bag, and along with an array of worthy jewels and coins, there is a simple clay jar with a cork stopper, a mouthful of fresh water still tinkling about inside.
Oh, but that's not all, Cutter. This tomb, here, around you. I've been looking for this for an age, and I finally found it. Almost worth getting burned for.
What do you know about it?
Well, not much. But just look around you. You ever seen anything like it?
Not really. You said burnt. What got you?
I wish I could tell. After all I went through to get here, it was nothing compared to this. You watch yourself. My guess, everything here is laced with some death. Incredible it is.
Good to know.
No, hold on, Cutter. Can I ask something of you?
Go ahead.
If you figure it out, how to get to the heart of this place, you take me with you.
What?
Bring me to it. The center. Whatever is there, I don't mind. I just want to reach it. Make it all worthwhile.
I'll see what I can do. With little else to start with, you head back to the shrine. The urn is very ornate, with scenes depicting the struggle between warring fiends embossed on the side. As you lean over to inspect the contents, a surge of heat rises from the rim, searing your palms.
Ah, damn it.
Now you can see it. Arcane sigils trace down through the tiles, swirling towards the center of this chamber, forming a symbol upon the ground. It is familiar. You cannot see it in its entirety, but just looking causes a deep pain within you, within your teeth, within your bones. You follow the edges of the symbol along the ground, up the pillars and to the ceiling, and there it is, hanging above like a guillotine, the bladed symbol of Torment, the very same inked upon your left shoulder. The light about you starts to dim, but burning in the center, the symbol appears to grow brighter, sharper, until it is all that you can see. You try to move, but are locked, limbs like stone. The air around you fizzles and cracks. Your skin begins to scorch. Your blood boils.
Now, what did I tell you? Incredible.
Feels like I've been through a shredder.
Aye, miracle you survived. Oh, did you?
With your joints stiff and your skin sore, you struggle back to your feet.
Seems that way. What are you?
Yeah, still trying to figure that out. All right, let's try this again. Wise now to the danger, you avoid the path of the glowing sigils, and begin now to inspect the short corridor that leads to what appears to be the central chamber. You can see a large sarcophagus within, and presume it to be the resting place of this tomb's inhabitant. The corridor itself has an almost organic feel, like a gullet to the belly of this beast. You carefully inch your way through the threshold, inspecting every crack in the tiles for a flare of light or the click of a mechanism. But nothing. You press against the wall and step through. As soon as your foot strikes the ground, A sickening wave pulses through your body, and you feel a lurch as if the floor had suddenly tipped. You then stumble forward, suddenly on firm ground again, but in an entirely different chamber.
What the hell's happened?
It almost perfectly resembles the first, except this one, instead of the great bronze-clad double doors, has a bronze casket. More intricate carvings adorn it, showing a thicket of barbed and knotted briars.
Find the keys and embrace death. All right.
You approach the casket, the light above dimming with every step. You can feel the buildup of energy in the air, and when you reach the coffin, it is warm to the touch. You make to push open the lid, but as you do, a blast of thunderous energy shunts you back, crashing you into the center of the glowing symbol.
Worse than last time.
You seem to have been transported somehow back to the first chamber.
I must say, Cutter, never did I think I'd have so much fun while being a deader. Balmy what the planes will do.
Well, we're not done yet.
Stepping back into the corridor, you land in the second chamber and stride immediately towards the casket, and without hesitation, throw open the lid. Blood sprays before you as dozens of icy shards splinter throughout your chest.
Hells!
You nearly pass out with the pain, but with blurry vision, you grasp at the contents of this box, finding a small key fashioned like a thorn.
All right. How many more of these?
The ice melts out of your skin, pooling with your blood over the tiles, outlining the curve of the cruel symbol. And you carefully head back into the corridor. But again, the ground shifts, and to all your frustration, you are back where you had just been, your blood still spreading at your feet.
This isn't where I wanted to go.
The searing symbol above begins to flare, and defeated, you slump to the ground.
Full marks for perseverance, I will say.
You are back by the main entrance, but this time with the thorned key in your hand.
Okay, I think I got this.
The first corridor leads to the central chamber, which itself has several adjoining corridors that lead to other chambers. Stepping through before led you to one of them. So, you suspect that with this key, you'll now be transported to a different one. It takes a little time and a world of pain, but each of the chambers you are transported to houses a different casket depicting new scenes and matching keys, motifs of life, death, and rebirth, along with depictions of the cosmology of the multiverse. You have an uneasy feeling in your stomach as this all starts to feel overly familiar.
This has to be the last time.
Hey. Don't forget me.
I haven't.
Now with the third key acquired, you heave the broken body of Rhyss onto your shoulders and tread once again into the corridor. You wince at your first step, but after a few seconds, nothing. The air remains still, and the cool glow constant. Relieved, you pass through into the central chamber. It is much in the same grandiose fashion as those surrounding it, but each of the walls houses a smooth stone panel, and in the center, another large sarcophagus, though this one is made of black granite inlaid with veins of melted gold. A thing of majesty, even if measured only by the apparent cost of the thing.
By Abathor's bloody scales. This place, whosever's this is, must have been... Well, there are rumors of dragon hordes and the like. But this... interesting theory.
The sarcophagus has no carvings upon it, but instead is perfectly polished smooth. So much so that you have a hard time finding the seam of the lid. When you finally do, you strain trying to raise it, but your efforts are in vain. It appears to be locked firmly in place.
Any ideas? When tomb cracking, not everything comes down to brute force. This crypt is the work of a master. There must be a more elegant solution.
Right. Looking around, the craftsmanship here is exquisite. The stone panels are inset into the wall with a precision that only a master craftsman could achieve, and each have been inscribed with some text. Some are pristinely neat, as though chiseled by a careful, methodical hand, and others less so, and detract from the workmanship of the panel itself.
What little life there is in the world is draining out this hole in my body. The world can burn. The planes can burn. Just give me life. I will destroy this life so badly, break it, smash it, and stain it in blood and feces, so you cannot live it either. Let all creation burn, for I cannot die. You okay, Burke? Yeah. Just reminds me of someone.
You move on to the next. And while you had begun to suspect something, this inscription makes your stomach drop.
I know you feel like you've been drinking a few kegs of Styx wash, but you need to center yourself. Among your possessions is a journal that'll shed some light on the dark of the matter. Farrett can fill you in on the rest of the chant, if he's not in the dead book already. Don't lose the journal, or we'll be up to Styx again. And whatever you do, do not tell anyone who you are or what happens to you, or they'll put you on a quick pilgrimage to the crematorium. Do what I tell you. Read the journal, then find Farrett. What the...
These are the directions tattooed on your back that Morte read to you in the mortuary. But to add to your surprise, there's one more line, one that Morte didn't read.
Don't trust the skull.
Feeling a little dizzy, you continue on to the next.
It is extremely important to record your journeys so that you might learn from them. The greater need, however, is that the sources of information you use to uncover this mystery need to be protected when they are found. If key figures, documents, or oracles are somehow removed, either by death or destruction, then you will never know who or what you are, or how you came to be this way.
Looking closely, you think the panel can recess further, and with the slightest pressure of your hand, it slides into the wall. You hear a click from the sarcophagus behind you.
You got it. Now, do the rest. I suspect that we'll continue to die and be reborn until we finally get our life right. I do not know what we have to do to bring that about, though, and therein lies the frustration. Is it some sort of karmic cycle? As I gather, some incarnations have committed terrible crimes, but also there have been a number of incarnations where we have labored to do nothing but good. Are these incarnations intended as punishment? I don't know. And that is the only real truth I can offer in these carvings. I do not know. At what point does the I get separated from the we? At what point am I freed of the shackles of the actions of these other incarnations? At what point am I allowed to be me without the weight of these past lives?
The panel effortlessly slides into the wall.
I have lost lifetimes because of my killer.
I cannot deceive him, so I must kill him. I tried to throw off the scent. I left false bodies tailored in such a way to placate him. I roamed the most outer planes, hoping to use distance as a shield. I built this tomb, filled with traps to try and kill the killer. I hid. All I bought was time. The attacks inevitably begin again, with more fury than before. Deceptions are useless. Somehow, the killer always knows that I live, and no matter where on the plains I hide, he finds me, eventually. There is nothing that can be done. Memories are gone, perhaps never to return. With every death, I lose a part of me. How can one be immortal and still die? He told me that my mind is weakening with every death. I asked him how this could be, but he could not answer. He was of no use. I butchered him so that no other incarnation would ever benefit from his uselessness. Another panel glides into the wall with a slight hiss. So they said, you have been divided. You are one of many men. You bear many names, and each has left their scars on your flesh. Lost One, Immortal One, Incarnation's End, Man of 1,000 Deaths, the one doomed to life, Restless One, one of many, the one whom life holds prisoner, the bringer of shadows, the wounded one, Doomslayer, Misery Bringer, Yemeth. I grow weary. Fear names. Names have power in identity. Others can use names as weapons. Names are a hook that can be used to track you across the plains. Remain nameless, and you shall be safe. I am the Nameless One. With all 8 panels now pressed, the sarcophagus lid moves with ease. The locking mechanism has been undone. You open it, only to discover a single key lying within. I don't think Lothar will be pleased to learn this. There is no body, and more importantly, no skull. You stand in silence for a moment as you gaze at the contents of the sarcophagus. What is it? What do you see? Nothing. What? Just a key. Oh. I'm sorry, Berg. Would you put me inside? Just imagine it. Going through all that, only to find this sorry sight. Rhyss, the vulture. Worth it if you ask me. All right. Rhyss, the vulture. His ruined face relaxes into a smile, and the blue light tethering you to him fades away. You take the key and place Rhyss's body on the coffin, sliding over the top, and leave the chamber behind. As you step into the corridor, the lights about you dim. Oh no. But instead of a glowing room, a shimmering portal, a vortex of the filth of the drowned nations. And you step through. Thank you for listening to Planescape Torment, the unofficial audio series, a RevocerGM production. To support the show and those involved, please consider subscribing to our Patreon or donating via our Ko-fi page. Links to both are in the description.